This, this makes it look like I actually have a social life. I don't. That is a band from Soft Play, Taking My Son. I could have played that really cool. And that's a hairband. Right, I'm ready. Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. I am really excited today because not only are we going to go through Makeup Artist Starter Kit, it's also a giveaway, which I'm so excited about. I think this is going to be great that someone is going to win like a little kit that might start them off on their whole career. That's so cool to me. And it's all thanks to two companies, Setgo Bags, I'll show you their bag in a minute, but also Boots. Boots gave me £100 on my Advantage card. It was to spend on anything, but I thought this would be a really fun way to spend it, to show you that as a makeup artist you don't always have to spend loads of money, but also it's really handy to know you can just pop into high street stores and you don't have to order things online or take trips to like bigger stores. It's really handy. I do it quite a lot when I'm out and about for appointments. I'm like, oh damn, I'm short on that, and I'll just run in and grab it. So yeah, I think it's really good to know that you can get stuff on the high street. So this is the bag, and as I'm going I'll put things in the bag and you'll see that all this stuff, a whole kit, can fit in this size bag, which is amazing because I'm not about carrying those heavy, like, do you remember those like metal trunks that people used to have? They were like heavy when they were empty. Why was that ever a thing? I never had one because I was like, what? Like, why? But yeah, now that isn't a thing, and people, I think, I've seen the change where people are condensing their kit a lot smaller, which is great. I've been a makeup artist now for 6 or 7 years, and my kit is bigger than this now, and I think as you develop as a makeup artist, you do build on what you've got and you add certain favourites that you know you can't do makeup without, or just things that excite you and get you inspired with makeup again. I have lots of little things like that in my kit, but this is very similar to how I started, or at least this is how I should have started if I had realised that I didn't need all the rubbish and like the things you see on social media that you think you need, which you don't need as a professional. So this is the bag from Setgo Bags. All their information will obviously be linked down below. This is actually the small spotty, so they become bigger than this. But I use this in my kit because I think it's a really good size. It comes with loads of pockets, really handy pockets, and then they also sell bags that are the perfect fit to go inside, which I think is really clever, so that like you use up all the space in the bag. So as I go, I'll pop the things in the bag and you'll see that all this stuff, you'll see it's quite a lot of stuff, fits in there, which is amazing, and then you just have that to take with you, which I love. So, massive thank you to Setgo Bags and to Boots for gifting me £100. And without them I wouldn't be able to give this away, so I am really, really grateful. And if you want to see details for the giveaway, then stick out to the end of the video and there'll be all the details there. So let's get started. There's a lot of makeup to get through. So I think this is going to be really helpful if you're starting off as a makeup artist, especially if you're at the stage where you're maybe going from doing your own makeup to experimenting on friends and family. It's still really important that you keep good hygiene. A lot of the things you'll see that I'm talking about are because you need them for hygiene, no matter what stage of makeup you're at. If you're doing it on makeup on anyone other than yourself, you really should be using these just because it's the safest way to do it. So, I know it sounds boring, but hygiene is fun, and I'm going to talk about that first. To start off, I have got a spatula and a palette. I won't take it out of the bag just because I'm going to pop it in the giveaway. And I really like this palette. It's from Amazon. I don't think it was very much, it was like under a tenner. I like this one because it's got wells. So I use quite a liquidy foundation. I use the one from Decium, and they sit really nicely in the wells and don't like leak out onto the onto your workspace. So some workspaces might be a bit wonky, and even though you think your palette's flat, you'll end up with makeup everywhere, but these wells kind of stop that, so that's why I like these. And I use paints quite a lot as well. So yeah, this is a hygiene thing. I can do a whole video on hygiene, but I'm going to try and keep this quite like about your kit. But basically you really should be decanting anything you can, any cream products or liquid products, and that's what makes this possible. So you can use a spatula to scoop it on your palette, and this will last forever, so it's definitely worth investing in, and it's not a lot of money. The next thing that's so important for hygiene as well is spoolies. So mascara, as most of you will probably know, you can't just reuse from the tube. It's probably one of the most dangerous things you can do in makeup. I know that sounds dramatic, but some of the infections that you can get are just disgusting. So really you should be using disposable spoolies, and these ones I recommend. They're from Westbound Company and they're really good because this part here is bamboo, so that can be recycled. These actually pop off as well. I can recycle these, and if I don't use these then I use a little brush. You can get like tiny, they're like fan brushes, and you can use them and clean them and use them over and over again. And I think that's just one way, like if we all did that as makeup artists, that would be a huge change. And Westbound Companies are my favourite, so I'll link their stuff down below. I'm trying to get all the boring things out of the way at first. I swear it gets better than this. But kitchen roll, I've even brought an example in case you didn't know what kitchen roll was. But I always have kitchen roll with me, just another hygiene thing. I like to lay it out on the desk. Even a workspace that you think might be clean, you don't really know, and you're not going to go in scrubbing tables and things. So it's good to just lay this out. It's also really good to have for like spot cleaning brushes. And I just think it looks really tidy if you lay this out and then lay out the products that you need. So I wouldn't take this whole roll because that like would probably fill the whole bag. I would take quite a few bits. I'll do a demonstration. I'd take quite a few bits, fold them up, and then put them into like a sandwich bag so they're kept clean, and then pop them in my case like that, because there's no need to be taking a huge roll like that. And then on the same sort of line I take tissues, and I take tissues as well as the kitchen roll because I think these are quite nice. They're not a necessity, I wouldn't say, but they're quite nice to offer to people. I used to do a lot of bridal clients, and I still do quite a few. I've had quite a few brides who are like, oh god, I haven't brought tissues for my purse, and it's really nice, just like a customer service thing, to be like, oh, I've got some tissues, you can have them. I'll either give them like the full pack or give them a few out of it. As a makeup artist, we are there on quite like big events in people's lives, and people get emotional, so it's really nice for you to be the person like saves the day with the mermaid tissues. Another thing that I always have in my kit as well, which isn't a necessity necessarily, oh my god, they were good words to use together, is gum. But I swear to god I've bought this gum 3 times so I can like show it as a lovely little thing in my video. My husband has stolen it every single time, and I just can't anymore. I'm not buying any more gum for him to steal. So, a pack of gum. I always have a pack of gum because that's another nice thing to offer to people, and also the days are quite long and sometimes I will be drinking coffee all day, so it's nice to like freshen your own breath as well if you're like in someone's face all day. So I always have a pack of gum. So in my kit I don't use wipes. I don't really like wipes on the skin. There's a couple that I do like, but I just think that they're wasteful. And although I use cotton buds and cotton pads, I feel like I can get makeup off quicker with these and have to use less. So it's the most sanitary way I can find of doing it, with creating the less waste, if that makes sense. These are from Primark and they're 50p for that many, so really, really cheap. I really like them. And then these cotton buds are from Boots. These are great because they've got like a thinner side. These are really good for just cleaning up like an eyeliner. And then this flatter side is great if you just want to sweep under the eye to like pick up fallout, so they're really good. And I use both of them with micellar water, so this is a much cheaper way than buying wipes all the time. You can spend an absolute fortune on wipes. And I really like this one from Garnier. I like this little bottle. I normally buy the bigger bottle because it works out cheaper, and then just refill this one because this fits in my kit nicer. So yeah, I will keep this bottle for like ever, but I'll pop this one in the giveaway. The next tool that I use on every makeup, I would say, is tweezers and scissors, and I mostly use them for eyelashes. They're like the super easy way to apply eyelashes, I think, and most eyelashes also need cutting, I find. This is a little kit I found in Primark, and it came with like nail scissors and cuticle things, which I probably won't use, but I'll keep the whole thing in my kit. I just get cheap ones because they last fine, but also I'm not using the tweezers to pluck hairs. I find that people don't really want torture through their makeup appointment, so I don't need a sharp pair of tweezers because sometimes they're like £20, it's just not necessary. These are fine because I am just pinching eyelashes with them, and they come in a cute little thing where they'll be all clean and protected. Next is eyelash curlers, and I don't use eyelash curlers too much, but I always have them in my kit in case I need them. I've had clients before that are like, I always curl my lashes, I need them curled. It's a good thing to know that you've just got them there if you need them. So yeah, these ones were from Superdrug. Something that is super important is a pencil sharpener, and I always get one with the big side and the little side, if that makes sense. So I'll show you the pencils I've got. So they can sharpen both of these pencils. And I really like this one from Mast. I always break pencil sharpeners. I don't know why. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I always break them, but I actually find this one lasted really well. So I bought another one for the giveaway. So you could argue that this is not a necessity, but I would actually say it is. I use it on most makeups, especially if you're working alongside hairstylists. I find it's really just courteous to not disturb the work that's been done. I use these and they're quite nice because they don't put too much tension on the hair, and if I really don't want to leave a mark or anything, I just pop one of the little tissues between the grips so it doesn't leave a dent in the hair. These are really good to have because you don't want to be always touching someone's hair and put it behind for them, it just wastes time. So always have hair grips. Hand sanitizer is super important and I use it quite a lot in daily life, so I'm in the habit of using it. But what I will suggest is always using it just before you do the makeup, and I always do it in front of the client just so they can see you do it. It's quite nice for them to see that you've done it. So even if I've done it before, I'll do it again. I don't think you can do it too much anyway. This one's from Carex. I've never used it before, but they're like £1. I just pick up whichever attracts me at the time. And then maybe the most important thing is alcohol to clean your brushes. And I've seen a lot of companies now are selling brush cleaners, which are really nice, and they leave your brushes smelling nice and they're all conditioned. But really, as a professional makeup artist, you have to be using alcohol to clean them, and that's 90% and 70% alcohol. If you want me to do like more hygiene based tips, then I can do that, so I won't go into it because there's a lot to get through. And then the last thing in this part is, I don't know what this would come under. It's not a tool, it's kind of hygiene, I don't know. Anyway, I take nappy sacks, so I'll either take like little bags or sandwich bags, something basically that I can put rubbish in. Some of the locations I've been on before like won't have bins, and you don't want to be like stacking rubbish on your desk. It's not very nice for your clients, so I'll take a little bag or even a little bin that I can put things in. So now onto brushes, and I haven't bought a load of brushes just because I find brushes are such a personal thing, and it's really something that you have to learn as an artist, and I'm still working on that now, finding which brushes really work for me and then investing in those brushes. I think a really good place to start, and something I still have a lot in my kit, is Real Techniques. They're sold in Boots, and something I would suggest is always wait until they've got like 3 for 2 on, which they often have across all brushes or specifically Real Techniques. They're really, really nice brushes, and what I would suggest is getting what you need, and then you can evaluate and see like, okay, I'm always using that brush, and you'll end up with like 5 of that brush, if you know what I mean. Don't go buying a crazy amount of brushes, it's just not necessary, and you'll find that there's ones that then you never use. So definitely, same with all of this, like evaluate what you're using the most of and then invest in that, because you'll find over time you'll spend a lot less money and your kit will work for you better, if that makes sense. Something that I know is quite controversial when makeup artists, sounds ridiculous, when makeup artists talk about hygiene is sponges, so like beauty blenders or makeup sponges. I do not recommend them at all. I just don't think they're hygienic. If I was getting my makeup done, I wouldn't be happy if someone used one on me, so therefore I'm not going to use them on my clients. If you really, really like the finish of sponges, you can use these. I bought these even though I don't normally use them. I'll put them in the giveaway, but that's something, maybe you'll have a client that says like, oh, I always use a sponge, I love a sponge, and you can use these and they can be disposed of, and it's much more hygienic than using a beauty blender. But I've actually found that I can now create the finish of a beauty blender with different brushes. There's really nice brushes from my Kitco that are so dense, I'll link them down below, they're so dense that they'll almost mimic the appearance of a beauty blender. So I think work on your techniques and try and do it that way, and you just know then it's peace of mind that you're not introducing any bacteria. So now on to the good stuff, well, skincare, which actually is like one of my favourite bits of doing makeup, and I've only got a couple of bits because I think these work for all skin types. So if you're on a budget and you're just starting off with a kit, this is a really good place to start. The first product is Embryo Slate Cream Concentrate, and if you don't know about this product, then get to know. It is so good, and I think they actually say it's a primer, and I do use it as a primer, but it's a really good moisturizer. So I use it as a moisturizer, and you know those clients you get that like clearly don't really take too much care of their skin, basically me like 3 years ago, and they look like they might need like a bit of exfoliation. I will put a layer of this on their skin, quite a thick layer, do their eyes, and then when I go back to the skin I find that like it's soft and it looks really beautiful. So this is really, really good to have, and it does work for all skin types. It's really nice. They do bigger ones than this, but I quite like the little one for travelling. Yeah, literally can't recommend this highly enough. And if you thought I loved that product, oh my god, you don't even know. This, I love this so much. It's actually becoming a bit of a joke on my Instagram, like how much I talk about this. I'm not sponsored by them at all or anything, but I swear people think I am. So this is Weleda Skin Food, and it's amazing. I've seen it in, not to name drop, but like Val Garland's makeup kit. All the big makeup artists, celebrity makeup artists have this, and it's something I see like across the board. I think it was like originally designed for like really rough skin, like more so on your body, but it is incredible on the face. I use it as a highlighter. You'll see that I don't really feature too many highlighters in this because I think this photographs so beautifully. It's great for any dry patches, it's great on the body, it's just amazing. I use it on the lips. I normally put this on the lips first, and then when I come to do the lips at the end, they're really soft. I use it as a makeup remover. I have highlights on my Instagram about this, if you want to hear everything I use it for. But yeah, I couldn't do makeup without this. I absolutely love it. And then the last part of skincare is a body moisturiser, and I haven't got one with me today because they've sold out everywhere. The one I like is Garnier one. It's in like a red bottle, but that's really good to have if you're doing photo shoots or catwalk or even like bridal. Something that brides don't really think about is moisturising their arms and their chest. I don't see everyone have in their kit, so it can be the difference, and it just shows, kind of puts you above the rest because they're like, oh, they've thought of that. It's a good thing to have. And then other than that, I don't recommend a lot of primers. I know that some people swear by them, but I don't use them a lot, so it's all personal preference. If I am going to use a primer, it'll be like a pore professional one maybe, to fill in if people have a lot of pores. But other than that, I find that the Embryo Release works amazingly, and I don't really believe in primers that much. So yeah, it's all personal preference. As you like build as a makeup artist, you'll find what works for you. So now foundations. I know as a makeup artist, and I remember feeling exactly the same when I started, it's quite daunting, and it's going to be the place where you spend the most money, and it's quite scary, like what ones do I invest in? I don't want to buy all these and then realise I don't like them, and that is what I would say, do not do that. Please don't spend a lot of money on foundations before you really know what you want. And even now, I won't buy all the colours of a range, especially because makeup brands, like, well done to them, are bringing out like 40 shades of a foundation, but it's just not necessary to buy them all. You can work really smart as an artist and mix the right colours, and you often come to a better colour that matches your client better. So please don't go buying out like hundreds of foundations. It's just not necessary. And a great way to start is with these. So these are from Kryolan, and they're the Dermacolor Camouflage Mini Palettes. And I've got this one in medium dark and fair, and these are amazing because they have all different undertones. These are mine, so they're a bit like battered. They have all different undertones, so with these palettes I know that literally everyone is covered, and if they're not, I can mix, because there's like 16 shades in each palette. 16 times 3, I'm not going to do the math. So I know that everyone's covered, and they're amazing. They're really full coverage. They're like camouflage makeup, but then they can be sheared out as well. So I'll use them as concealer, I'll use them as foundation, I'll use them as just like a wash of colour on the skin. They're so good, and then you've got all those colours, and it's kind of like peace of mind at the start. If you're not that confident with colour mixing, you know you've got them. And they're also great because you can then evaluate, right, I'm always using that colour. I know that when I buy foundation, it makes sense to get that colour. What I will say is I find that I like getting a few fairer shades, darker shades, middle shades, and then I get like a fake tan shade as well, so one that has a really good fake tan undertone, so I can mix that into my foundation. So I'll only get 4, maybe 5 of each foundation that I like. I haven't brought it down with me, but I really like the Decium foundations. They're amazing because they're in little plastic bottles, so they travel really well, and they're so affordable but really beautiful. So they're the foundations I have. I still have those palettes in my kit because they're so useful. And from the drugstore, I also really like Maybelline 24 Hour Superstay, so they're worth checking out, but please maybe check them out on yourself first, see if you work with them well on yourself, and then you're more likely to like them on clients. So you'll see a trend here. I try and get everything in palettes if I can, just because obviously you can get a lot of product in a small space, and they travel really well as well. So that is a huge tip. If you can get anything in palette form, then do. And another thing I like for the skin is the NYX Cream Contour Kit. Is that what it's called? Cream Highlight and Contour Kit. This is really good because these little pots like pop out, so you can kind of customise it. I use less of these shades. I really like these, so I, in the end, will like build up this palette so it works for me. And this consistency is really nice. This formula is really nice. I like using it as like a bronzer, a contour. I use it as fake freckles. Yeah, I really like this palette. So I'll pop this in the giveaway. And then a powder. A powder is really important, especially if you're doing like photography and just for longevity of makeup. I steer more towards like loose powders now, and I think that is something that's more hard to find in the drugstore. You have to be careful just because of flashback, so always check your ingredients. Normally look out for like SPF, that's the big thing that causes flashback. I really like this one from NYX, which is NYX HD Studio Photogenic. This is translucent, so I'm still a bit wary whether translucent looks okay on really dark skin tones. Sometimes it can come across a bit ashy, but I know this will suit the majority of skin tones, and then I can work it out for darker ones. But yeah, it's really good to get a translucent one, and this one is really nice. So like I said, I use Skin Food as a highlighter quite a lot. I'm not so much into powder highlighters anymore. I'm kind of like over that like really metallic-y powdery finish. I quite like using creams, and I haven't bought like any specific ones to show you because there's just so many in the drugstore, and they're all quite nice, to be honest. I really like sleek highlighters. MUA do really nice highlighters. Yeah, just go into your drugstore, swatch a few things and see what works for you, get a few different undertones. Yeah, it's really fun to play with highlighters, so that one is up to you. And the same for bronzers. I think the drugstore bronzers are really nice, and you don't need a huge amount. Just get like a light, medium and a dark, and try and get them in palette form as well. Again, Sleek do really nice bronzers. And then still on skin, even though you might not think it, is this lip palette. So this is kind of crossing over from skin to lips, because I use this for both. So I use this as a cream blush and as a lipstick, and then I only need like this. I have this palette and another one which is more reds and purples and darker colours. If you're looking for more like high end, then Anastasia Beverly Hills do a really good lip palette, and it's got like blues and yellows in as well. That's amazing, and you can use that for like creative looks as well. So this is amazing. The finish of it is lovely on the cheek. It's quite like a dewy finish, so it gives you that lovely like dewy blush. And then they're lovely on the lips as well. They can be used without lip liners, so I don't take a huge amount of lip liners. And they're really nice, and this is from Revolution Pro, so not a lot of money at all. And imagine if I had to take that many blushes and lipsticks, and I can just fit it in this. This is my one, so it is grubby. But yeah, that's such a good tip for saving space. I literally like half my kit by taking this and another one this size. NYX do really nice liners for eyes and lips actually. These are the Slide On, Glide On, Stay On, Definitely a Turn On Waterproof Extreme Colour Lip Liner. And I normally have a red, a purple, and then a few nudes as well. I don't have a huge amount, and you can make them work for you. So these are really, really nice, and sanitary wise, you just sharpen them, and you can even give them a spray with alcohol. So yeah, they're really good. And then mascara, you'll definitely work out which mascaras you like the most. I always have a waterproof one. I think that's the most important thing to get. This one's just from Collection, and it's a lengthening waterproof one. I don't spend a huge amount on mascaras. If I find a formula I like, that's all that matters, because I'm not using the brush anyway. I'll be using my West Barn Company disposable spoolies, that's what they're called. So yeah, just find one that you like. I normally have a waterproof, a not waterproof, and maybe like a lengthening and a thickening. But to start off with, I would say just get a waterproof, because then you know you're like covered, and if they cry, you're covered. Eyeshadows, and I think it's so exciting to see the difference in eyeshadows recently, and like over the last few years. Drugstore have got so good, and it's not necessary to spend like loads and loads on eyeshadows. I know that like with social media now, with every palette that comes out, people think they need that to be a good makeup artist, and that's not the case at all. I really like the Rimmel ones. These are the Magnified Spice Edition, and these come in all different finishes in the one palette, and then all different tones, which is so nice. Like, that's amazing for like bridal clients and glam clients. so that's really good. And they also do those in like all different colours, so I would get like 2 or 3 of them and you're sorted. Another good thing to have is bright colours, like if you know you've got a yellow, a blue, a green, then you're kind of sorted and you've not got that anxiety of like, oh my god, what if someone asks for a blue eye? So a really good palette for that is the Ultimates Brights palette, and then you see you've got covered by all those colours. And then obviously you build on that over time, so now I do, especially with the looks I do, I have a lot more bright colours, but I would still be happy to go with that and know that I could create something really beautiful. And then another company that I think is worth mentioning is Revolution. This is just a palette I've picked out, which is Foil Frenzy. I love like the finish of these, they're so beautiful. But they do really nice eyeshadow palettes. Their palettes, I really like their formula, and their pro range as well are so pigmented, it's a bit crazy. So check out, if you're looking for eyeshadows, Revolution. Yeah, I really like them. And then you can also pick out eyeshadows that excite you and you want to have in your kit, but to start off with, you don't need to spend a lot of money on things like that. Really, I would check out the Rimmel and the Revolution ones. Oh, I forgot to say, in lips, always have a gloss as well. And to start off with, I would just have a clear gloss, because then you can turn any colour glossy. It's still, if I'm really trying to condense my kit, that's still something I do. So this one's really nice, it's from Rimmel as well. And yeah, obviously decant this onto the palette so it's hygienic and you don't get this all gross in different colours. So yeah, just have this one and you're kind of sorted for all glosses. Back to eyes, eyeliner. This is another thing that is kind of controversial in the hygiene makeup world. I do not recommend pens or liquid liners unless you're going to decant it onto your palette. I just really don't think you can assure that it is hygienic. Something I've always used is Maybelline gel liner. This is nice because you can scrape off what you need. I found now that I can get the consistency I want. So if I want this to look like liquid liner, I can just make that happen. So yeah, this is really good, and it comes with a little brush as well. I picked up a couple more eyeliners that I really recommend. These are both from NYX, and this one has got the same name as the lip liner, so it's that really long name that I won't say again, and that's really nice. But also this one, which is the Jumbo Eye Pencil from NYX. I really like this one because you can use it in the waterline, it stays really well, you can smudge it out on the lash line, and you can use it as a base if you're doing a smoky eyeshadow. I use it in creative looks to like plot out where I want to put things. So yeah, I really like that, and they do all different colours of that. For eyelashes, I always had individual lashes, so I really like the ones without the knot on the top. I think it's Ardell that do the ones without the knot on the top, so they're a bit more seamless. I find that I reach them a lot with bridal clients, or like clients that don't or have never worn eyelashes before. They're so comfortable and they won't feel like they're wearing them at all, so they're really nice to have. And they also can be built on top of strip lashes, so say you really like a pair of strip lashes but you want them to fan out more, they're really good for that as well. And then I have a few pairs of strip lashes. I try and get like more natural ones and more full ones so people can pick and decide what like they like. That's another thing that Boots often have on 3 for 2, so just wait if you can until there's an offer on and you'll save so much money. Another thing I get from Boots is Duo, and I recently, not that recently, probably like last year, changed to this Duo, which is different to the original one. This one's really nice because it works just as well, but it hasn't got latex in it. And I was always really worried because even if people don't think they have a latex allergy, they might. People become allergic to things or just don't realise they're allergic to it. And imagine if you did that on like a bride on their wedding day and they had a flare up, like that honestly gives me palpitations. So I've changed to the latex free one just so that I know that will never happen, and it works just as well and it's the same price, so why not? Brows are one of my favourite things in the whole entire world, and my favourite product and something that I know a lot of makeup artists use is soap brows. So this is from the same company as the Spoolies, Westbound company, and it's amazing. I just activate it with a little bit of like a spray and you comb it through the brows. I have got a few tutorials on this on my Instagram if you want to check that out, so I won't go into it now. But it's amazing. Like, one of these tubs will last you forever, and I will pop this in the giveaway. And it just gives you that, especially if you like that really fluffy brow look where your brows are stood up. My brows grow down and this keeps them up, and I don't know anything else that does that, so these are amazing. As well as that, I really recommend the NYX. NYX again, NYX, you're doing well. This is the micro brow pencil. The end is really quite fine, and then you have the spoolie on it as well. And I'll draw hair strokes through as well with that if the brow is quite sparse and needs gaps filling in. Another thing you can do that with is eyeshadow, so that's another way to use your products in other places. I'll use eyeshadows through the brow, and I really like stroke a brow, but I do try not to use that on clients so much, just for hygiene reasons. It's away from the eye, but really you can't disinfect stroke a brow, so I've stepped away from that now and I use more like pencils that I know that I can clean. But yeah, stroke a brow, if you want to see about that, that's also on my Instagram. So I know that was a lot of information. I'm sorry that it's like kind of bombarded you. I'll try and put as much as I can in the description, and I hope it's helped some of you. Let me know if there's anything you think, oh my god, you didn't say this, I couldn't do makeup without this, because I know it's different for every single artist. I've just really tried to stick to like the bare bones and like what I think you can't do makeup without, and then you build on top of that. I think the biggest thing I would say is, obviously, I've said it 100 times, but try and get palettes and also work smart. So it makes you a better artist, I think, having less products, because you have to think on your feet and you have to think how you can use things in different places. And actually by doing that, I found now I prefer lipsticks as blush. So it's worked better for me, if that makes sense. And another thing is try and evaluate as you go. So instead of just spending money, it's so easy for us as makeup artists, because we love makeup, to go into the shop and be like, oh my god, I want this, 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 this. But we have to think smart, and it's a business at the end of the day. So really look at what you're using and invest smartly in places where you think it's going to benefit your business, instead of just like throwing money away. I think that's nice to do on ourselves when we're doing makeup, when we're buying for our own kit, but maybe not so much for a professional kit, because you'll just waste so much money and it's not necessary. There are times when I definitely splurge and I'll spend more. It's normally when I want to be more inspired and I think, oh my god, that like green glitter, I need it, and I'll pay for it then. But other than that, I really stick to the products that I know. And like I said at the start of this video, this isn't my kit. I do have quite a different kit to this now. There's still a lot of products that I swear by and I have in my kit, but I've changed it quite a lot. So if you'd like to see what I use now and the products that I thought were worth investing in, then let me know. I can definitely do a video of my kit. I think that might be interesting to some of you, but let me know. So the giveaway, I'm going to pack the bag now and I will show you it all. Like, that was a lot of makeup. I'll show you it all in the bag. But I have packed the bag and that is all in there. It's amazing because there's like even little pockets in the side, and obviously you see here, like these are the bits I always reach for, I put in the side. So one of you could win all these products in here. I've also put a few extra bits from like Kat Von D, Doll Beauty, like loads of other bits that I was saving for a giveaway. I thought it makes sense to pop in here. To see everything that is included, if you want to see exactly what you can win, then there will be a post on Instagram. So if you're interested in winning this giveaway, then all you have to do is make sure you're subscribed to me on here and leave a little comment down below so that I know that you're interested in the giveaway. And then head over to my Instagram, which is @beautybybelinda. Make sure you're following myself and Get Set Go Bags. I'll leave their link down below. And there'll be a post on my Instagram with the picture of the giveaway, so you know exactly what you're into winning, and you can leave a little comment on that post as well, just so I know exactly who's entering and that you've done all the steps. So yeah, that's all you have to do and you could win a full kit. I'm so excited to see who wins, and the best of luck to all of you. I'm so grateful to Get Set Go Bags and to Boots, because without them there's no way that I would be able to do this giveaway, and all the brands as well that have gifted me things over the time that I am able to include. I can't wait, I'm so excited. If you like this style of video, something that's a bit more educational, I really enjoy filming things like this, then let me know. There's so much more I could talk about with kits and working as a professional makeup artist. It's something that I don't think is talked about too much on YouTube, and we could change that. So yeah, let me know, and thank you so much for watching all this video right to the end. That is a lot of information that you've been given, but I'm so grateful, and I will see you on the next one. Mwah.